and I went to the window and I saw two behind a black Mercedes SUV with the second sedan right next to it. And it was two shooters firing down our street, which is Laurel Street. And they were behind the black SUV, shooting about 70 to 80 yards down the street westward towards what looked to be about at least six Watertown Police Department vehicles. They engaged in gunfire for a few minutes, and while they were in gunfire, they were also utilizing bombs, which sounded to be like and looked like grenades, while continuing the gunfight. And they also had what looked to be like a pressure cooker bomb, and I had about a clear line of view on that from about 30 to 40 feet away from my bedroom window. And
Andrew, if you could just, can you expand upon that? I mean, you say it looked like a pressure cooker bomb. We've all seen the photos now of the bombs that they believe were used in the Boston Marathon bombing. Is that how you know what a pressure cooker bomb looks like, and is it consistent with what you've seen?
Yes, it is. I've seen the photos from the marathon, and so I am familiar with what it looks like, and I had a very clear view of the shooters, and that is what it looked like to me.
Of course, we want to be very careful here to not be overzealous in connecting the dots, because again, this could be a completely unrelated incident of urban crime. But I do want to ask you, officials released these photos yesterday of the two men that they believe were involved in the bombing. You say that there were two men shooting at officers and that you had a clear line of sight. Did it seem like they looked like they could be the same person? I mean, visually, were there any similarities?
Yeah, visually, I really couldn't see. I couldn't see their faces. They didn't have any distinct clothing on, so I really couldn't make out their descriptions in any way. In terms of build, I had a clear view of their build and average size, average height.
And Andrew, you posted some photos on Twitter of what you were saying. We're going to be putting those up. Can you just describe what you took photos of? We see a bullet hole. Is this in your home?
Yes, that is in our home. We occupy the second and the third floor of a multifamily home, and there were bullet holes There were bullet holes on the west wall that went through the wall and through my roommate's chair.
And
there was one bullet hole.
Were police returning fire? Was this a firefight, or did it seem that they were taking cover while they were being shot at?
No, it was a firefight. There was a long exchange of gunfire, and it looked to me like the shooters were utilizing handguns in the gun shots.
And you say they had these bombs with them. You describe them as grenades, and that there was at least one that you say looked like it could have been a pressure cooker bomb. How were they carrying all of this and shooting at the same time? Did they have bags with them? And what were the logistics like?
So their sedan was, I guess, easterly on Laurel Street, and then their SUV was to the west, and they were separated by about 10 feet. They were in between the two cars, taking cover behind the Mercedes, shooting westward, and they had backpacks. Right now, there are still, actually, as we speak, there is the bomb squad robot that's going into their green vehicle, and then they still have what looks 2 or 3 backpacks that were right next to the SUV that are still laying in the street, and they have been untouched.
And you're saying that there's a bomb robot on the scene. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and what's happening with that? I assume that they're trying to ascertain if there are more explosives in that car.
Yes, that would be my assumption, and they are going in through the back passenger door right now, and the robot is examining the back seat.
And you, in your account to the New York Times, you say that one of the men was tackled by officers, but that the other one sped away. So can you tell me, how did this end? How did it resolve itself?
Yeah, so when they utilized their larger bomb, that actually created, they threw it towards the officers. It didn't get too close to them, but it really worked more as a decoy, and it basically covered the entire street with smoke. And then at that point, one of the shooters ran towards the officers while he was firing, while the other one to the SUV, and at that time, the one who was running towards the officer was taken down, and that was still about 60 to 70 yards from my vision. So I really couldn't see whether he was tackled or shot. I didn't have a clear view on that.